everybody, this week we're going to learn about the story of the prodigal son. And then we're going to make a craft of the son's father to help us remember the story. So go ahead and listen to this story. Jesus told about a rich man who had 2 sons. The rich man had a very big farm and many servants who looked after it. One day the younger son went to his father and demanded, "Father, I want you to give me my share of your inheritance now." The father was sad, but reluctantly agreed to give his rebellious son his share of the inheritance. The younger son then left home to go to another country. He wasted all the money on wild living. After he spent everything, the new friends he had made left him. Then there was a famine in the land where he lived. He was poor, with no money, no friends, and nowhere to live. He was forced to look for a job, but the only one he could find was looking after pigs. He spent many days and nights feeling lonely and hungry. He was so miserable he longed to eat the food that the pigs were eating. He was beginning to starve to death. At the moment he realized how foolish he had been. "All of my father's servants have food, and I am here starving. I will go home again and say, 'Father, I have sinned against God and you. I am not good enough to be your son. Please let me be one of your servants.'" So he set off on the long journey home along dusty roads. His father missed his son and always looked out, hoping he would return. Then one day, while he was looking out, he could see his son a long way off coming home down the road. He ran towards his son and threw his arms around him. "My son has come home again," he cried. The son was so surprised. He never expected such a welcome. He wept, "Father, I have sinned against God and against you. I am not good enough to be called your son." His father wiped away the tears from his eyes and replied, "My son, I forgive you, and said, 'My son, I love you so much, and I forgive you.'" The father then called to his servants, "Quick, bring the best clothes and sandals for my son, and ring for his finger. Then kill the best calf. We are going to have a big feast to celebrate my son's returning. My son was dead, and now he is alive. He was lost, but now is found." Some time later, the older son returned from the farm after a hard day's work in the fields. He could hear the sounds of a great celebration in the distance. A servant told him, "Your father is celebrating the safe return of your younger brother." The older brother was annoyed that his rebellious younger brother was getting such a loving welcome home. He sulked outside, and his father came out to see him. "I have been working for you for many years, but you have never had a celebration or feast for me. But my brother has been behaving disgracefully, wasting money, yet he returns. You celebrate." His father explained, "You have always been with me, and everything I have is yours. We are celebrating because your brother was dead, and now is alive. He was lost, but now he's found." Jesus told the story to let us know our Heavenly Father loves us so much. Even when we disobey Him, when we are really sorry, stop being disobedient, and return to Him, He welcomes us with open arms. So the son didn't think his father was going to be happy to see him because he lost all the money and he didn't live the life his father expected him to at home, helping him and helping run the farm, but also following God and being a good person. That's not what he did. So he thought his dad was going to be so angry with him when he finally did come home. But his dad missed him. Wouldn't your parents miss you if you left and didn't come back? So he was so excited to see him, and it didn't matter everything that he had done. That wasn't what his dad was worried about. So the son didn't think his father was going to be happy to see him because he lost all the money and he didn't live the life his father expected him to at home, helping him and helping run the farm, but also following God and being a good person. That's not what he did. So he thought his dad was going to be so angry with him when he finally did come home. But his dad dad missed him. Wouldn't your parents miss you if you left and didn't come back? So he was so excited to see him, and it didn't matter everything that he had done. That wasn't what his dad was worried about. For this craft, you're going to need some scissors, some tape or some glue, some markers or crayons, and a couple different colors of pieces of paper. The first thing you want to do is you want to take whatever color paper you want to be your father's clothes, and I'm going to fold it in half a long ways like this. And then I'm going to cut it in half. Once you've cut your blue paper in half, then you're going to take your other sheet of paper, that's going to be his hands and his face, and I want you to trace your hand 2 times. There's 1, and then there's 2. Once you've traced both your hands, you're going to draw a circle for his head. And then you're going to cut out both your hands and the circle. Once you've cut out your hands and your circle for his head, I want you to attach your hands to either side of your strip of paper that is your father's body. I'm going to flip it over, and then I'm going to put his head right in the middle. Like this. And then I'm going to give him a face. I want to give him nice blue eyes. And a nice smile. Because he's really excited that his son's come home. I'm going to give him a nose. And then I'm going to give him some hair. So I'm just going to go like this on his head. And then I am going to give him a blue hat with some of my excess paper. So I'm going to measure his head. I'm going to mark either side of his head. And then I'm just going to cut a nice oval shape for his hat. And then I'm just going to tape it onto his head. And then I'll do a little bit of adjustment on his hair and make sure it's actually coming out of his hat. So here is my father from the story. One last thing, we want to make it look like he's reaching out to hug his son. So we're going to fold his arms in. And then, so he's reaching out, you can see him open his arms to welcome his son in, and it also will stand up to the point it looks like he's waiting for his son to come home and visit him. So I hope you had fun working on your craft this week. I want you to remember that God's always going to love you, no matter what you do. So have a good week, and I'll see you on Sunday. Bye!